Hey guys, today I will be pitching a company called Cirrus Logic and its ticker is CRUS. So, Cirrus Logic is a semiconductor company that focuses on analog and audio circuits. Their audio processor and converters features in many professional audio and entertainment products such as smartphone, tablets, and digital headsets. Their chips are used in DVD players, disk drivers, Xbox, mobile technology, and other different kind of other things. And their largest customer is Apple. So I rate Cirrus Logic as long-term buy and hold with target price of $73.77, and it's currently standing at around $39. So obviously, this is a massive increase from price now, and we have to ask ourselves what kind of factors Cirrus Logic has that can eventually make their company grow farther. So first, they have a bright future, and secondly, they have a new technology, and lastly, they have a great financial. So, bright futures. So as we all know, Apple recently removed their headphone jack from their new iPhone 8 and iPhone 10. This actually gave huge opportunity to Cirrus Logic since Cirrus Logic produced digital signal processor chips that Apple used in their wireless AirPods. And I believe that to order to other phone company like Samsung and then other all these variety of phone company to compete with Apple, they will eventually take out their headphone jack and turn into something like wireless AirPods, something like that. And to order to them to do that, they will require a digital signal processing chip in their products. And that's what Cirrus is making right now and what they're actually really good at. So, in recent years, Cirrus acquired Walser Microelectronics, and this was an attempt to reduce dependency on Apple and enter the Android market. So, we will talk about all the revenue they're getting from Apple and stuff later. Um, so, as a result, Cirrus was able to add Samsung as their important customer and accounted for about 15% of Cirrus revenue in fiscal year 2016. So this chart below shows that worldwide smartphone sales to end users by operating system in 2017. So I know the chart is really small, it's kind of hard to see it, but as you can see, Android account for about 85.9% of entire smartphone market share in 2017, while iOS only account for about 14%. So this 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 really shows that how much potential Cirrus Logic has going into the Android market. So new technology. So the market with the largest long-term potential for Cirrus is probably the voice biometrics. So voice biometrics is a technology that is used to analyze personal voice patterns and verify speakers' identity by their voice. So what this basically saying is, let's say maybe you're using your both hand, your hand is not open, and maybe your friend texted you or email you, and then you really want your phone to read that email out loud. So you ask like, hey Siri, read my email. However, now your phone will not read your email for you because if they do, then it will cause all these security problems because other people can easily say, hey Siri, read your email, and they will read it for you. So people just can get easily your personal information. However, what this voice biometrics allows your phone to do is to order to recognize your voice as it is your own voice and then unlock your phone or maybe read your email. So this is basically like another way of unlocking your phone. However, I see this very different from other technology, other unlocking feature like Touch ID. What else we have? Touch ID, password, and then fingerprint. Yeah, because all these three requires your phone to be like right next to it. However, in this technology, you don't necessarily need to have your phone right next to it. I mean, obviously you can have it like 500-meter away, but you could have like maybe 5-10 meter away and you can just speak up and then they will unlock your phone. And I think this technology has huge potential and eventually could change the world. So let's look at their financials. So currently right now, they have a trailing PE of 13.9 and forward PE of 9.73. So this is this is good considering the fact that their industrial average is 25.13. So as you can see, this company is fairly undervalued company. And they have no debts at all, which is always good to hear. So they have a 10-year compounded annual growth of 20%. So as you can see in this chart on the right, their revenue is increasing rapidly over a year. Like for example, in fiscal year of 2016, their revenue is up 28% year to year. So let's look at their cash generation. So they generated about 1.1 billion of operating cash flow and 864.1 million of free cash flow over the last 5 full fiscal year. Yeah, that's a huge amount of money. And they have a strong liquidity both domestically and globally. So their use of cash. So they use a lot of cash in research and development. So as you can see in this chart, um, they're increasing research and R&D investment every single year. For example, in fiscal year of 2017, their R&D spending is about 304 million. This is huge amount of money considering the fact that this company is not that huge. This company is not like Apple or Amazon or Facebook or all those huge company. Cirrus Logic is not that big of the company, but they're spending a lot of money to R&D investment. And I believe they do this because they believe in their bright futures and their new technology, like voice biometric is one good example. They also use their cash in M&A and share repurchases. And those are accounted for about 84% of free cash flow, which is a lot. So we always have to think about some competitors they have. So I believe that their largest competitors is Qualcomm. There are some other semiconductor competitors out there, but largest one is probably a Qualcomm. So basically, Qualcomm is the almost one of the largest semiconductor company in the world. However, I see Cirrus Logic very different from Qualcomm because Qualcomm's smart codec tends to be bundled with its application processor, while Cirrus Logic has its own. So for example, if you want to buy some audio or chips from Qualcomm, it's usually bundled with like some other stuff. Like if you want to buy audio, maybe with some other chips or whatever it could be. So oftentimes you have to pay extra money to something you really don't want to. However, if you purchase in Cirrus Logic, then you can just buy it individually. So you don't have to waste your time and you don't have to waste your money in something that you really don't want. You don't need it. So I see Cirrus Logic as more of like flexible company, and you can just customize it however as you like. So revenue drivers. So currently, Cirrus Logic earns about 80% of revenue from Apple. That's a massive amount. Cirrus currently supplies Apple with audio codecs and amplifiers for their iPhones and iPads. So they basically benefit from their iPhone production, increasing iPhone production. So secondly, their largest earning potential is probably Samsung. So as I said earlier, Android accounts for about 85.9% of the entire market, and then Samsung is, as we all know, one of the biggest Android company. So, and lastly, they have a customer worldwide. Approximately, they have a 3,000 customer worldwide, including LG, Lenovo, Samsung, Sony, Vizio, and Apple. And yeah, so there are way more than this, but these are some of the major companies. So industry analysis. So I think that semiconductor is absolutely necessary for this society like we are living right now. Like, think about it. Anything you do right now, you need semiconductor. From your car to your smartphone to computer, almost everything we use, or so many stuff we use today, you need semiconductor. Without it, some of them some of them not gonna even exist right now. And then as these technology increase rapidly every single year, I think that need for semiconductor will increase. So I know I've been talking about good part for this entire presentation, but obviously we have to think about some risks when we are investing to company. So I don't see much risk in this company. However, there's one huge risk that we always have to consider about, and that's that their dependency, and they're so dependent on Apple. So since they generate so much portion of revenue from Apple, there's always a risk that what if they lose an Apple? And yes, that's obviously something we have to think about it every single time. And then yes, if it happens, then it will significantly hurt their financials. However, I don't really see that happening because first of all, the relationship between Cirrus Logic and Apple has been long and deep, lasting over 10 years. So 10 years ago from now, 2008, that's when first iPhone 3G came out. And now it's iPhone 10. So you can tell that this has been long time. And secondly, Sears are so loyal to Apple that they even designated their Apple's development team. And in addition, Apple has been incorporating more Sears components into their products. Also, Sears are working to diversify its revenue. And as a result, in fiscal fourth quarter, they reduced its Apple-related revenue by 8%. That's a huge amount. And this is due to gaining a chip spot inside Samsung Galaxy S8. So they are working to diversify its revenue. And also, I don't see Apple cutting them or cutting their contracts for these reasons. So, management and governance. So their CEO is Jason Rhode, and he's been CEO since 2007, and he manages over 1,500 employees. So I see this CEO as very intelligent and good CEO because first when he got to this company in 2007, this company was about only a $5 of the company, $5 per share, and now it's standing at around $40. So you can see how much he contributed to this company. And also he got huge contract with Apple, so that's one of his biggest accomplishments. So some of the major shareholders are Vanguard and then Fidelity. So again, why do you want to invest in this company? First of all, they have a great financial with no debts at all. And secondly, they have huge potential in Android market. And lastly, Cirrus advancement in voice biometric will open new market opportunities in the long run.